So, sometimes the people who hurt us the most are the ones we once trusted the deepest. But life has a strange way of turning pain into purpose, if only we're willing to face the truth. Michael, how are you? Anna entered the room and immediately walked over to the window to open the curtains. Michael had just enough time to hide his phone under the pillow and assume a pitiful, suffering pose. "Sweetheart, you're being so caring today. I think I'm feeling a little better," he murmured as she sat down on the bed next to her husband. "Michael, you're acting like a child," Anna said. "Let me call a doctor." Michael shook his head quickly, looking alarmed. "No, Anna, please, no, I told you. This happens sometimes. Not often, but it does. My blood pressure suddenly spikes for no reason. I'm usually out of commission for a few days, but it always passes on its own. I've been through this before. I just don't want people gossiping about our family again. My love, they just stopped whispering on every corner that I married you for your money. Now they'll say you ended up with a sick husband." Anna smiled and gently ruffled his hair. Of course, after 5 years of marriage, she knew perfectly well that Michael wasn't quite the person he pretended to be, but she loved him. There was no time to dig into his supposed illness. She was in the middle of important negotiations for the company. Michael was more of a figurehead in her business, there for appearance and status, since he didn't really understand much. She pretended she couldn't manage without him. Michael either believed it or was playing along convincingly. He went to work, had lunch with her, and they generally lived a comfortable life. There was one fact, though. Michael was 9 years younger than Anna. He was 32 now, and she was 41. They met when he started working at her farm as a manager. Honestly, he was quite average at the job. They probably never would have gotten close if not for one incident. It happened late one evening when Anna was driving back from a friend's place. The road was completely empty. She had taken a shortcut through the winding alleys of the old town. A lone, swaying street lamp lit the area. The silence unnerved her. She pulled out her phone to call for help, but it gave one final beep and died. Looking around, she realized the main road was only 15 or 20 meters away, but to get there she'd have to walk through darkness. The street lamp seemed to be the only source of light. She was about to lock herself in the car when she heard a voice. "Miss Anna, is everything okay?" She jumped and turned around. A young man stood behind her. "Do we know each other?" she asked. "I work for you. Haven't been there long," he said. Michael handed her his phone, waited for the tow truck, then called her a taxi. That night, she suddenly remembered she was a woman, not just a robot who worked non-stop. Their romance was so intense that Anna thought she might go insane. Everyone around her said she already had, and when Michael proposed, her friends and colleagues began whispering that he was only after her money, that he wanted the glamorous lifestyle, and that in a year or two he'd be cheating. Right before the wedding, they had a serious conversation. Anna spoke calmly. "Michael, I know I'm older. If one day you want to leave, just tell me. I have only one request. Let me be the first to know. Michael, I want you to understand, you don't need to have a mistress. If something's wrong, we'll separate. I'm an adult. I won't make a scene." Michael was deeply offended at first, but then he said, "I promise I will never, ever cheat on you," and she believed him. He loved good food, stylish clothes. Anna stood up. "I'll be home late today. Important negotiations," Michael sighed. "I'll just die here all alone while my wife's always off negotiating." "Next month should be a bit lighter," she smiled. "Maybe we can take a weekend trip somewhere." "That'd be nice. All I do is work," he said. Anna didn't bother pointing out that he rested more than he worked. The negotiations were scheduled at a small, cozy restaurant. The client was difficult but wealthy. Anna gathered all her charm and knew she had to close this deal. She had spent 3 months courting them, dinners, factory tours, showcasing her business to this married couple from another city. Today, finally, they were supposed to sign the contract. Anna arrived a bit early, ordered for everyone, then got herself a cup of coffee to review the contract one last time in peace. There were only a few people in the restaurant. Soft music played. It was easy to concentrate. She looked away for just a moment when the waiter brought her coffee. Then she raised her head and froze. She sat in a spot where she could see the entire room. She didn't want to miss the arrival of her potential business partners. Near the entrance, with his back to her, sat her husband. It couldn't be anyone else. She would recognize Michael among thousands. She even rubbed her eyes and pinched herself gently. No, that can't be. An hour ago, her Michael was lying at home, practically on his deathbed. Stunned, she kept watching. He was still sitting there, then picked up his phone and started talking to someone. Anna glanced at her watch. 40 more minutes until her guests were due to arrive. She motioned to the waiter, who came up to her quickly. She spotted Michael as he turned the corner and immediately followed, pressing herself against the wall. 1,000 thoughts raced through her mind, but one was louder than all the others. Michael is cheating on me, probably has been for a long time. Maybe even supporting a mistress with my money. She was furious. She wanted to cry, but she knew she wouldn't. She hadn't cried in a very long time, not since the first betrayal in her life. When Anna was 22, she fell in love, the kind of love you read about in books. And he loved her back. His name was David. He was older, successful, liked the finer things in life. They were planning to get married. But things kept getting postponed. David's business was taking off, not without Anna's help, and then she found out she was pregnant. She was over the moon, and David seemed happy too. The doctors told them it would be a girl, and they immediately named her Olivia. But during the 5th month, complications began. The medications needed to save the baby were incredibly expensive. But Anna didn't hesitate. David, however, did. "Are you out of your mind?" he told her. "You want me to take money out of the business, money we'll never get back, to burden myself with a child that might not even be born healthy? Get rid of it. We'll try again later, a normal one this time." Anna was speechless. "But she's our daughter, and everything's fine. We just need those meds for me to carry her to term." David only shook his head. "She's your problem. I'm not giving you a cent. That's final." Anna waited, hoping he would change his mind. But not only did she lose the baby, she also lost the ability to ever carry another. That first betrayal shattered her. After that, she avoided relationships for years. Michael was her first real relationship since David. Years passed. Anna worked like hell, saved every cent, focused all her energy on one thing, and she did. He cried and begged for mercy, but she had just smiled and said, "You didn't show mercy to our daughter. Why should I show it to you?" Michael had no idea what was coming, if her suspicions proved true. She peeked around the corner. Michael had disappeared through a door. She ran forward just in time to see which apartment he entered. Her head was pounding. "I'll destroy you," she thought. She rang the doorbell without hesitation. A young woman opened. She stared at Anna in fear, then called out, "Michael, I think it's for you." Michael appeared in the hallway. He froze when he saw her, then sighed and said, "Come in." Anna exploded. "Come in, what the hell do you think you're doing?" Michael raised a finger to his lips. "Shh, Emily will hear. Come inside." Anna was completely thrown off. He wasn't acting like a man caught red-handed. She stepped into the apartment. Michael hesitated, then turned to her. "I was so scared you'd find out. 7 years ago I had a relationship. We didn't part on good terms, and I never knew I had a daughter. Then that woman. She was in a car accident with Emily. She died, but before she passed, she told someone who the father was and how to find me." He paused. "Emily was injured. At that point, you and I were already married. Lena agreed to take care of her, but she's not always available. So I get sick or go help friends or something like that." He lowered his head. "I'm sorry. I know this isn't right." Anna looked at the girl in the wheelchair. She was holding a book, sadness in her eyes, and she looked so much like Michael. "You're not saying anything," he muttered. "I have 10 minutes," Anna whispered. Her upcoming meeting had only been an excuse to escape. The meeting itself went well. Anna had always been good at shutting out emotions when needed. After everyone left, she rubbed her temples. Now it's time to think, she told herself. Not what should we do? Back home, Michael paced nervously. Anna had never stayed out this late. He had called her several times, but her phone was off, not unusual for her, given how often she forgot to charge it. He understood that life would most likely never be the same again. Anna would probably file for divorce. He had deceived her. That was one. And since they didn't have children together, she might feel she simply didn't need him. Michael truly loved her, but if Anna made him choose, he would choose his daughter. It would be hard. Right now, when he was financially stable, there were no issues with medications, and little Emily was even showing some signs of improvement. But what about when the money ran out? Well, no matter. He'd go work in construction or somewhere else. He'd find a way. He'd earn. The door slammed. Laughter echoed from the hallway. Michael tensed. She wasn't alone. Interesting. Who could she be with? Looks like she didn't care about the whole situation. That meant she had made up her mind. Time to pack his things. The door to the room opened, and Anna's cheerful voice rang out. Well, excuse me, but why is no one welcoming us? And sitting in the dark, too. She flipped on the light, and Michael instinctively stepped back. There, in the doorway, was Anna, and sitting in the wheelchair, smiling brightly, was Emily. In the girl's arms was a huge plush bunny with floppy ears. It's just not right for children to be separated from their parents, Anna said. That evening, Anna and Michael talked almost until dawn. She told him about her first love. He told her how terrified he had been of losing her. 2 years passed. Anna was sitting on the bed, staring in disbelief at a piece of paper in her hands. The door creaked softly. Mom, can I come in? Anna smiled. Of course, Emily. The girl carefully walked toward her. She had recently returned from abroad, after treatment and rehabilitation, and was just learning how to walk again. Mum, did I upset you somehow? Why do you think that, sweetheart? You seem different today. Anna sighed. It's not because of you, my love. He was worried too. The doctor told me, Emily hesitated, that I might have a little brother or sister soon. Emily stared at her for a second, then hugged her and whispered, That's so wonderful. To hell with what the doctors had said. Turns out they weren't always right. And who cares if she was 43? What mattered was that it felt right. Shall we go share the good news with Dad? Thanks for reading to the end. If you enjoyed the story, please support me by hitting the like button